Hi, Aries. So we have Cooper up here. I don't know how long this is going to work with him up here. So, okay. Okay, so I pulled some cards for you. So this is from the Sacred Web Tarot. So we have the Temperance card for you. Uh-oh. Bee. Honey. Okay, he's like sitting right on top of everything. Then on the bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess card for you. Okay. And also in this deck, this is the Midnight Magic deck. This is my mushroom deck. We also have the Temperance card. So we have two Temperance cards here. Temperance card. Shiitake. Shiitake. Don't know how to say that. Okay. Shiitake. It's shiitake, right? Shiitake. Okay. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, the Luminescent Pinellas. The Luminescent Pinellas. Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you for moving. All right. And your messages are crafts and or woodwork, army of love, you, fairy tale, return, and we have this symbol, Trinity. I have my own thing for that. So if that comes through, I'll explain, but we'll just keep it as Trinity right now. Okay. So let's start right here. So I've never gotten these two cards together in a reading before, but I love how this is coming out. So we have the Temperance card, and I believe this just came through for Pisces. This Temperance card, such a beautiful card. It's like this ripple of energy around whatever this symbolizes. So this can mean very many different things. We're going to see what that means for you. But it can symbolize a recognition of something needed, of being seen, and this like rippling effect, an awareness even. Okay. And then we have, so on the bottom, we have the High Priestess. And here is that flower, the lotus. That's what I'm saying. Like, that looks so beautiful. So the High Priestess, this card, I was telling Libra about this recently because they got this card. Every time I see it, it makes me smile. It's, okay. So I try not to cuss on here, but sometimes it just happens. So this card reminds me of like, it always looks like this to me, like someone looking at something. Oh, you're over here. I keep looking over here. Okay. Someone looking at something right here, whatever this represents, and this could literally mean this energy, since we have, look at that. It looks identical. This one's in color though. But it looks like something looking at something. And I normally like to say it's the viewer looking at this. So like you're sitting here staring at this, and all of a sudden this energy is like, surprise, I see that. I see you staring at this. And not in like a crude way, but I think that that is such a perfect example of a High Priestess card. Whenever you ask the right question, you're always going to receive an answer. So it just depends on the question that you're asking. But it's like something observing something else, and it goes unseen until the correct question is asked. So when a question is being asked and the High Priestess comes into view, it's literally this energy all of a sudden like popping up out of nowhere, witnessing your eyes looking at this flower. That's the best way that I can explain a High Priestess energy, but it's just like Okay, not like a crude way, but like gotcha bitch, like I saw you, I spotted you kind of energy. Um, take it however that resonates for you, but that was how it came through in the Libra reading. It's just like spotting something. And since we have this energy right here, it just see this is in color. So this is in color. So this could be like an active energy and something being spotted. So a high priestess, anyone can be in a high priestess energy. It just means being able to observe something, asking the right questions, seeing something. And so this is almost like more of like the silhouette of something. So it's almost like asking about a situation. So this is like a situation going on. Clearly there's like color here. There's a lot going on. And then this is like, you could say even outside energy, like a tarot reader asking questions for you about a situation. This is truly what's going on, but like the tarot reader is seeing like this. So it can give you like the highlights of it, like the silhouette of what's going on. But obviously situations, everyone's situation is going to be more in depth, have all this like intricacy around it. So that just like is what, reading tarot is like. But so it's, anyways, it's like the high priestess energy, spotting something, seeing something. But you don't like, obviously every situation is intricate. So it's, yeah, I guess that's the best way of saying it. It's like being able to see the silhouette of it. Being able to see something in a certain way. We'll keep like digging into that and see what that is more about. Okay. Your butt is on this. Okay, so we have crafts and woodwork right underneath this. Crafts and woodwork. Crafting something. So is this something being crafted? An art project even? Woodwork? Something being created? Asking about something that's being created? A project? So that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is the energy. Like, you could even say this is like someone working on something, or a group of people, whatever this represents, and like asking questions about it. Or this could even be about an idea of like creating something. This could even be about like creating like a business, like an art, I was gonna say an art project, or just like something artistic. And getting maybe even like the silhouette of something helpful around this to be able to bring it into this energy, to give it life and color. So yeah, crafts and woodwork. Something being crafted. Why is it the high priestess though? Which is about observing something and being aware of something, or tarot reading, getting ideas for a project with your divination skills. Oh, baby. Oh. Getting ideas for a project even. Yeah, we're gonna leave it at that for right now. Yeah, woodwork. Okay, then we have Army of Love sitting halfway underneath this, and then halfway underneath the Temperance energy. I don't want your booty up in the camera. Okay, Army of Love. So I love that Curly. Curly's one of my favorite artists, musicians, singer-songwriters. I absolutely love her. And we share the same birthday, which is cool. Army of Love. So this is a song that she's written. Army of Love, coming together, unity, tribe, bridging connection, bridging people, bringing hope back. Being like your unique selves, even. Bonding over uniqueness, your freak flag. It just reminds me of like a bunch of Aquarian energy, like Aquarian like people coming together. Like everyone's like uniquely who they are. And like that's the reason why everyone comes together, because they're it just, it's like the opposite of groupthink, in my opinion. The opposite of like conformity. Army of love. Bunch of people coming together, unique. Is this like a tribe? An idea? An army of love? Hold on. I have my thing long ways this time, so I can't like hide and duck to the side when my nose is running. So just do it like this. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so army of love. Spotting something, because technically it's sitting under both of these energies right here. It's sitting like this. Army of love. So why is this energy looking that way? Oh, baby. That's why I don't have you up here all the time. Okay. So, and this one's dripping. I just realized that. That's almost like dripping, like it was taken out of the water. This looks like it's sitting in the water, like ripples, like even an emotional idea of something. And it like coming up out of the water, like floating in the air almost. I know. Yeah. Okay, and then you. So you is sitting directly under this. You. So is this like, are you one of these birds? Or is this energy you? An idea. Or a connection. This could be as simple as that, like two people recognizing something. Like we have this lotus sitting here. This is even like a tarot reading, asking about like a connection, you know, asking about like what this is between two people even. Yeah, you have you here. This army of love partially sitting underneath this. Part of a tribe. A connection of people. Or a relationship. Like this could just be that simple. A recognition of something. Maybe needing to ask some questions. Maybe needing to get more answers to be able to bring it into this like more full energy. This like color. Bringing it into form. Yeah, I like color since we have that difference right here. Bringing it into color. Okay, then we have fairy tale sitting right underneath this temperance card. So we have two temperance cards. Why the need for two temperance cards? So tempering something, tempering a situation, bringing a level of temperance, alchemy, newness. So temperance always represents alchemy as well, adding new elements to something. Like it always reminds me of like stirring a pot, cooking something, adding new ingredients in, changing the flavor of something. The consistency of something, the color of something. Yeah, the spice, the sweetness, the taste, the smell, the touch. Like we have like senses here. Then we have, so fairy tale is sitting right underneath this. Fairy tale. writing a fairy tale, bringing in many different elements, changing the consistency of something, the depth of something. Oh, this mushroom has water dripping off of it. Dripping. Let me just say this just in case, you know, it just, this reminds me of it still being in this like water or whatever this is. And then this is being like taken out of the water. It almost feels like a timeline. Like, see, it's pulled out of the water and now it's like dripping. Then because we have this dripping energy. That's like why that is like coming through. This dripping off of one mushroom onto the other. Dripping off of one mushroom onto the other. Dripping off a flower onto the other. Bringing the water into something else. This, the water dripping off of this into the other one, even just like the emotion of something. Army of Love right underneath it. So this could very much mean about like a tribe or a collective of people, but it could also represent like an artistic project, or an actual like one-on-one relationship. Or we have this like trinity here, a partnership, creation of something. Could even be about two people creating something more, even like a third. So this, we're not to this energy yet. Since it's coming through right now, I'm going to go ahead and say it. So this is a trinity of energy. And I actually created a whole diagram about this, like a very, very intricate. I'm not going to go deep into it, but it's just like, it's like two separate parts coming together to create a third. As simple as like a man and a woman coming together and creating a child, like biologically, scientifically, however you see that. But like two elements coming together, unifying, creating something new, a unification of something, birthing something new. 1 and 1. I was gonna say 1 and 1 equals 1, but that's not right. 1. I was gonna say 1, 1, 1 as well. Yeah, just like a trinity. We'll leave it right there. 1, 1. I don't know why I keep wanting to say 1 plus 1 equals 1. That's clearly not mathematically correct. 1 plus 1 equals 1. No. Biologically, yes. Okay. So, and that's sitting underneath the Queen of Wands, which is passionate. This could even be like sexuality, sexual experience, passion. We're not to that. I feel like we just like skipped over this right here. So let's get back to this. So, okay, so temperance, something being tempered, bringing something new. This could even mean like literally like making sure the emotion is well developed, because we just skipped right over to the fire, to the passion. And this is Aries, so and that sounds very much like an Aries like energy. But we have the temperance, Literally the two cards in the very middle of this are the temperance energies, the emotion. And temperance technically is fire and water, the alchemy of fire and water. Making sure the emotion is there. We have like a huge spotlight on the water, and then this like huge like of the fire. But in the center here, it's very much about emotion, making sure the emotion is there. The tempering of it, making sure there's a balance there between the passion and the emotion. This could literally be about like a romantic, or even just like a creating a baby or family. Since we have like this here, which is reminding me of like, yeah, we keep skipping over to that. Let's focus in on here. So we have fairy tale right under the temperance energy. Writing a fairy tale, this fairy tale magic, creating your own fairy tale, which I think is beautiful, like creating like a fairy tale off of like more of like the magical emotions of like a relationship, of something, bringing the magic into something, writing something. I actually created a fairy tale off of like something romantic that I did. Actually, kind of came through in like this way. It was from a reading that I did, and it was such a beautiful reading, and it just like it just looked like how the cards were speaking. It was so magical, and I actually created a mythological fairy tale about it. I haven't shared it anywhere. It's mine. At some point I feel like it'd be fun to share. But we have fairy tale. And we have this like reading energy here, like a tarot reading. And that was literally how I created my like romantic, a fairy tale based off of actual romantic energy that I was perceiving. It was based in a form of reality, but I gave it its own depth. And that's what this is now reminding me of. Seeing something and giving it color. If this is a fairy tale, just like playing with it. You don't need to be accurate, like completely accurate. A fairy tale is like magical. There's like even unachievable aspects of fairy tales. It's just meant to be magical and beautiful. Like mine was very much not based in like people with two legs and everything, you know? So there's like an element of just like magic. It not needing it to be like a stone cold truth. It can be if that's like what you want to do, but fairy tales, it's just like, it's more magic. It has more elements that are like not based in our realm, I guess you could say. But fairy tale, we'll come back to that. We'll see if there's more to that. Okay, then we have return. Return is sitting underneath the Temperance card and the Queen of Wands. Return. Return of something, like something coming back. An idea coming back. Passion coming back. Water coming back. The temperance of the passion and the emotions coming back. This could be just within you. Since we have this right here, this could be within even your part within something. A community, a tribe, a partnership, a creative project. You recognizing yourself as this, coming together with whatever this represents and creating something. Like this also, it just reminds me of like two people coming together to create like an artwork. Like this, like, this person has like this energy, and then this person has like a separate energy, and they come together, they collaborate and create something new, a third thing. It's reminding me of a mural piece that I just recently watched, where two different people, they weren't related, they were just artists from separate places, and they came together to create this huge mural. They didn't even know, like, they recognized each other's work, but they'd never worked together. And so they came together to create this like huge piece of art, and they were kind of like learning how to work together, how both of their art came together to create something completely new. A fairy tale. Like, if this is like people writing even a book together, creating something together, understanding the temperance, that was literally what they were having to do. They were learning how each other worked, each other's process, how their art meshed together to create this new thing. Because we have the Queen of Air here with this underneath it. Return of this, because technically this comes right after return. Tempering something brings back this level of like creativity, this level of passion, returns this, like, I was gonna say this person into a state of queenship. Queen. I'm just thinking this also can represent a mother. Queens also can go by mothers in other decks. And technically this reminds me of like a mother and a father creating a child. A project. You know, a child can be a project too. Or a project can be a child. Bringing something together to create something new. Return of this in some way. Oh, and there's an egg sitting right underneath her. Now this is reminding me return. Return of the King. That just came through in a collective reading. Return of the King, King's Return, which was about a king of fire. Wow, okay. Which this king also represents father energy, father and queen coming together to create a child, a project. This egg. Eggs represent, to me, your soul's inheritance, that which you are divinely here to birth and create. It's from everything. So it's basically from your experience, that which is born from your passion, since this is fire, that which is divinely born from your passion, your fire, that which is ignited from within you, your creativity. There's an egg here though. That's what I'm like focused on. Like, that looks like something being incubated, nourished, watched over. An egg has been laid. Return of the King. Or even return of this queen, this mother. A mothering energy. Gosh, with this right underneath it. It just looks beautiful. But like I said, there's two temperance cards here. So there's a deep focus on this balance, and we have all this like dripping energy, this water here, and then the fire at the very end. Okay. We have since I'm not quite sure what this crafts and woodwork would be about, unless it has something to do with what you guys are creating. Oh, with what you're creating, or you guys are creating. Craft, some kind of craft. I was just thinking about craft pizza. I think that came in with that same reading with the King of Fire. Might not have, might have been different reading, but that just reminded me. I said craft pizza, and we have craft here. Craft, art, your unique craft, your unique skill, your passion. But there's that need for temperance. Look, you're Aries, so I feel like the fire, that department is like well taken care of. It looks like this emotional thing. We have this dripping of water being dripped onto the other lotus, the other mushroom. Water. I'm going to go ahead and say there's the need for the water, or the balance of the water. Yeah, because when there's too much water, it can put a fire out, which is also not what you want. It literally looks like dripping water. In both of these cards, it's dripping water. Woodwork. Yeah. Unless it just means something specific to you. I'm just thinking of like, I have literally some of my like art right here, which is woodwork. Like some of my jewelry and different things crafted from wood. Okay, so Army of Love. Just like, do you want to see something? Let's see. Since I already mentioned it right here. Which one? Oh yeah. You can go ahead and show this guy. I already have this guy, already part of my channel. It's like a token. I have a bunch of these little tokens with like symbols and stuff that I created. Oh. Oh my god. Of course. Okay. Here we go. Wow. Okay. Look at that. See, this is what I was talking about, but I have like a whole diagram created based on this with a bunch of notes and just a bunch of stuff. But I just wanted to create the symbol. This is for me. So I created this. So it's very intricate, and all these different lines mean something, and everything means something. But it's basically why I created this thing, actually. Woodwork. Yeah, and here's like one that I haven't like created anything with. It's perfectly sanded down and ready to go, but that's woodwork. Yeah, and then this is obviously part of the symbol of my my channel, woodwork. Okay, wow. I'm gonna keep that out just until we're finished. Army of Love, coming together, unification. So this can also be about 3 different people. I don't know how much I want to go into this. So let's just say even like 3 people working together. Like a union of ideas. And this can represent like just I don't want to like nerd out and then this be like 20 minutes of me talking about this. Okay, so let's just say like, you know, the yin and yang within people, like this front energy, and then the gray, this third energy. So this could even just be about you, like you. And the gray, so we have the point going all the way to the back. So there's this unification between all parts within the self. And then the connection between every part. And this line is the connection and recognition of like, you could say these 2 are different people. And this line is the recognition of the relationship between these 2 people, just as this one is recognizing a relationship between 2 different people, 2 different ideas, two different concepts, beliefs. Like it could just mean different things for your unique situation. There's a lot right here. I'm not going to get into all of it, but Army of Love, because this is kind of reminding me, Army of Love is about many people, a tribe. So this could just be a recognition of like the connections between people, the connection between yourself, between even just like how different people work together. Could be about art, recognizing how two different people can work great together, like artistically. You could even be about like matchmaking, you know. Yeah, writing, because we have fairy tale, like two different people who could come together and create a really good fairy tale book series. Sorry guys, I'm gonna cover my nose up. It's like dripping again. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put this between the temperance energy here. Wow. Okay. So this is like me holding up this energy right here. And then me showing you this is bringing the color into it, bringing the life into it. I believe it was Aries reading that I showed another diagram. Yeah, of the Solvi Quagula. Okay. I don't know why this keeps coming through in Aries readings. That's interesting. I am an Aries ascendant. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Projection. Okay. Yeah. That was interesting. I just heard stolen. Obviously this is like a symbol that I created, very much about my life. I just want to make sure that that is like made very much aware. Like this is it's a concept. It's a concept. But like I designed it based on my knowledge and my creation and my connections up here. So I just want to make that very clear. I don't want to like make a big deal about that. I heard the word stolen, so I don't want like. That was interesting. Okay. All right. So Army of Love, yeah. Like, and that's what I also, since that came through, there's no issue with people like using symbols and energy like other people have created. Absolutely no issue. The only thing that becomes an issue is when someone steals someone's property and like something that someone else created and claims it as their own. That's the only issue. And because I shared this with you, like this, I created a whole diagram on it, something very, very personal to me. Like I'm, gosh, I don't want to make this weird just because I shared this with you. Because it came through in such a beautiful, like, and powerful way. I just want to make sure you know that that's my intellectual property. I created that based on a lot of like my knowledge and my personal life. So, yeah, and it's part of like something else that I'm creating. So just want to make that very, very clear. I don't know who all's watching this, so, okay. Yeah, fairy tale, creating something new, something being tempered. That is a perfect example of temperance. Understanding what is what, you know, what needs to come in, what needs to be shared, what needs to be acknowledged, what needs to, because fire, passion, creativity, that could be someone like stealing an idea from someone because they're like, ooh, I like it, and they snatch it. Whereas they don't know the temperance, everything that it took to create that, all the time, the pain, the sacrifice that came in to like have something that, you know, that you created. It's like me sitting on my nest. Like you could even say I'm an Aries rising. Like this is my little egg, you know? It's part of what I'm incubating, stuff that I'm creating in my own life. And I've shared that with you in a very, you know, it's sacred to me. You know, like that's just a good example of that. Temperance, bringing the emotion, the emotional awareness into something that sparks like your fire. Understanding all sides of it, understanding the balance, understanding the humanity, the integrity. Okay, so fairy tale. I keep being drawn to this fairy tale because I love the creation of like, I love to write, and I love the creation of like knowledge and magic within writing. So fairy tale, craft, woodwork, fairy tale woodwork, creating fairy tales out of your woodwork, craft. That might be fun. Just like even if there's like fairy tales that that you enjoy, like doing some kind of woodwork around that. Asking more questions. Like this card is about asking questions, getting an idea, understanding the silhouette of something. This could even be about like crafting something new. I think I already said that. But like even with like, so there's like, I'm creating a flagship, and so even with like my flagship, I was asking a lot of questions to get like this almost like silhouette idea of like what would be important here to share. Like even the design of the building, I had like this really like, it was really creative, really cool idea that came through, and it was because I was asking questions, like understanding, just asking questions, just and letting your creative mind like take hold. I feel like Aries, you know, it's fire, like you're pretty good at doing that, but bringing the emotion to it, even just like because we have all this water. We have you sitting under this, you. Huh. This could even be like you, something, recognizing you. I'm just thinking about like this, the three. There's technically three parts here. Protecting your ideas, even protecting something that is yours. I heard once again stealing. I don't know why I keep hearing that energy. Protecting something that is yours. And now it looks like two people almost like, or two energies over this egg, the king and queen watching over something. Even you, like if this represents like a child, like energy, if you're the child. But we have this Queen of Wands energy in Return of the King. I feel like this is almost like your baby, your child, a project. Watching over it. Being a witness. Watching it. Maybe that's interesting. Okay. Making sure no one's stealing something. Making sure no one is like being disingenuous. Recently, the term mens rea came through for me, which means guilty mind, which means someone intending to do something, whether or not they created an act or not. It's a guilty mind, and it's about intention. So watching over it, to me, it almost looks like watching over this baby, this child, like asking the right questions, making sure that nothing weird is happening, like making sure you're checking the boundaries. Yeah, it looks like something is precious here because I keep being drawn back to the baby, the egg in her nest, with this energy sitting right underneath it. Your baby, your project, a flagship, a creative venture, whatever this represents to you. Maybe even creating a deeper level of connection or awareness between people. And honoring, like a recognition of what's yours and what's mine. Like, it's okay to be vulnerable and share art like I am. But it's mens rea, which means guilty mind. If there's any intention of like stealing something of someone else's, something that they've sacrificed a lot of life for, like knowledge, you know? And actus reus is the actual act of it, which means it can be, you know, brought to law and be held accountable. So, I don't know why that came through. Maybe that might be just very important for you because we have this like mothering, fathering of a project, an idea, a relationship, whatever it is. So it just feels like, and whenever I do readings, it's more of a proactive energy. It's something to just be aware of and start asking questions. It's not something like, oh my God, this is happening right now. This is just something, it's like, that's how I like to read, and that's how I have it for my own life. Is a proactive energy, something for me to be aware of, something for you to be aware of, to start asking some questions, you know. Yeah. Because, I mean, it's really beautiful energy here. We have the 2 temperance cards, which just means like a balance. It means like bringing in other energy. Could even mean like bringing in like different levels of like security, like within like even like creating a website, like just bringing in different measures that are going to help protect the boundaries of something, the legality of something. Yeah. So if something does like try to like test your boundaries or your limits or siphon or steal, there's a legality process that you can persecute them, you know, like if it gets to that. I don't know why that's coming through, but I kept hearing that weird energy. So very, very helpful to create levels of boundaries and protection, especially on art, especially nowadays with AI just like stealing people's intellectual property. It's just helpful advice, you know. Something I'm also like playing with and trying to understand in my own life because I have like these different creative things going on. So yeah, all right. Yeah, but we have fairy tale, army of love. We have a lot of like good energy here. Magic, unions, people coming together, tribe. Yeah. Creation of something. It literally feels like that other energy is just proactive energy because you have really beautiful energy. It's just like, it sounds like within the creation of whatever this is, it's just like needing to make sure you're exercising different levels of just awareness, security, different measures of like protection of whatever you're creating. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I feel like I got out everything. Yeah, just like recognizing, just like asking some questions, asking some questions. That just sounds like proactive and useful and helpful. All right, Aries, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Yeah, 48 minutes. Okay. Yeah. I hope you got some alchemy and some questions and just some different things that will be helpful for your life. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.